park. So a while back, I was out and about in Old Town Sacramento. I was taking some pictures of the buildings, the streets, and it's a very historical site too of Sacramento. And I got some really great shots, but all of a sudden I get approached by a guy, and he asked me, was I taking a picture of him? And I told him, no, I'm taking a picture of the city, the streets, and the buildings. And he said, well, I saw you pointing the camera towards my way. It's like, well, if anything, you just got into the shot, which is okay with me because, to have like people in the shot just shows like how popular the town is. And so with that, we just kind of went our separate ways. But I think, I got lucky because it could have been worse. It could have been someone who was very, very offended, easily offended, and also looking for privacy. But the thing is this though, when you are out and about in public property, which is basically, the street areas, the parks, or anywhere that's not a private property owned area, you're basically putting yourself at risk of getting your pictures taken or getting video recorded. Now, don't get me wrong, I can understand why a lot of people can get suspicious about photographers and videographers is because a lot of people who have a professional camera or even a camera phone have abused, this technology and used it for, inappropriate things and also very offensive things. And so I can see why a lot of people don't want their pictures taken, but at the same time, you have like actual street photographers or these artists who just want to capture those really beautiful moments, whether it be for memories or for business or even for like historical like uses. So that's when it becomes very difficult for professional photographers because now they not only have to explain themselves but also be at risk of getting assaulted by people who accuse them of like taking photos of them and using them for inappropriate purposes. So that's just one thing that a lot of photographers have to be aware of and also know their rights as photographers. And on that note, just remember, if you're in a public area or a public property, as some places call it, you're free to take as much photos as you want. The only thing I tell people is that if you're going to get approached by a bunch of people asking you why you're taking photos of them or at least like at their directions, just be prepared to explain yourself and also at the same time be polite about it because you're just really there to capture the moment, not start a fight with somebody or do anything inappropriate. So just be ready for that. Now when it comes to private property areas, which is example is a restaurant, right? It's a building that's being owned by somebody. Now what I usually do when I do my food vlogs or take photos of food, I would always ask the manager or anybody that works there if it's okay to do videos on like the food or take pictures of the food. And a lot of times I just get the response of like, that's fine, just as long as you don't disturb the other customers, meaning don't be taking photos of them or videotaping them because it is a private property and this is a place where people want privacy with either themselves or with their friends or family. So it makes perfect sense, and that's just something that's easily avoidable and it covers yourself because you already asked permission from that private property. So long story short, if you're looking to do street photography or just taking photos out in a public area, then you have every right to take photos of like anything in that public area. So whether it be, the park, the streets, the city, or people, or all of them together, you have every right to do that because it's a public area. Now, if someone does come up to you and gives you attitude or even politely tells you not to take a photo of them, don't get offended about that, but just simply tell them why it is you're taking photos and what you're taking photos of and for what purposes. And if, again, it's nothing inappropriate, then that shouldn't give them any reason to get all attitude with you because you know, you're a photographer, you take photos. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. And again, I definitely encourage people to definitely step out and get photos out there, because every story is out there, whether it be in public or even in private. But at the same time, just like I said, be respectful and be polite about it, and you're gonna do great. So if you guys have any more questions of street photography or just photography out in public, definitely let me know in the comments below. And for all you street photographers out there, if you guys have any advice too, definitely drop them down in the comments as well. Always glad to connect with other photographers out there, so looking to hear from you guys. And if you guys want to check out more of my work, whether it be photography or video, you can find them on my social media networks. And also, if you guys haven't done so, definitely click on that subscribe button. That way you guys can get more updates on events and projects that I'll be working on. But until then, guys, this is Jason Lore with Jason Lore Photography and Films, bringing you art, stories, and entertainment.